Howdy, my darling Capricorn. How are you doing today? My name is SimplyVelca, and let's get into your weekly tarot reading, Capricorn, for March 2023. If you enjoy this tarot reading, be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising, and your sun, moon, and your rising, Capricorn. That's how you make these general tarot readings work on YouTube, is by catering these tarot readings to your astrological chart. Now remember, Capricorn, beware of fake people. All right, I only do my readings, private readings, through my website, so I will never reach out to you. All right, so remember that, darling. Don't get scammed. And then my good friend Minnow Pond, you probably have heard of him, Capricorn. He has a new spiritual newsletter. It's completely free to sign up, and I just love what it is that he's doing. He's building a beautiful community. I'll leave a link to it down below. It's just Minnow Pond or winningpond.com. I have your Celtic cross out here, Capricorn, so let's just get right into this. But first and foremost, let's get into your overall energy this week, which is the six of Pentacles, Capricorn. All right, so overall, this energy this week is that what you put out, I feel like your energy is going to be getting matched. All right, that's why you see, if you look closely at it, Capricorn, you'll see the scales like right in the middle there. So it's like on one side of things, you know, what energy you put in, it's going to be matched. And so I feel like, especially based off of your Celtic cross spread here, Capricorn, you're going to be really noticing how everything in your life is mirroring you right now, and especially in your relationships. All right, and so let's just get right into this tarot reading here. In your challenge, or in your current situation right now, what you're dealing with currently is the Lovers. All right, and so before people, you know, Capricorn, do not worry. I'm not the type of tarot reader that just focuses in on romance and love. All right, this really, you know, when I speak about relationships, I speak about, you know, just human to human connections. So it could be business, friends, family, what have you. And then in the challenge position is the Two of Wands. So Capricorn, I get like this distinct feeling right now with this Lover's energy. You are either already currently dealing with somebody that you are not really too sure about, or they're about to be actively, I'm saying in like the next 2 weeks, in the Capricorn coming into your life, where they come into your life and you're just not really too sure about them. All right, they could be coming in the work environment and you see them new at work, maybe a new an acquaintance or business, you know, what have you. Someone new comes into your life. Could be like an old someone that you've crossed by in your path beforehand but never really talked to. But someone's coming into your life here and you're not too sure what to feel about it. That's why the Two of Wands is in the challenge position, because it's like, I feel like you're able to weigh things out where it's just like, on some level, I feel like you could see the potential in them. But at the same time, you've been burned one too many times, Capricorn, and you are insanely intelligent. Out of all the earth signs, Capricorn, you are the one that that really is able to see people for who they are. It's like you're able to see the snake and see where that snake was even trying to go before that snake even knew what themselves. Like, it's like you can't trick a Capricorn. Like, you see through fakeness. You see, like, people think that they're evil, or people think that they're petty. That's a better way of putting it. It's like people think that they're petty, and people think that they're so smart when they go about doing slick things. But it's like, you Capricorn, you're just like, girl, I've already seen that, been through that. I already know everything about this. Don't even try it, right? But what makes this situation different, Capricorn, for you, it's based off of these other cards, right? Now, I know it's going to take some convincing for you to fully be open to this reading, but hopefully by the end of this, I'll convince you to understand that this reading is for you, and it's not just like another relationship tarot reading here, if I do my job good enough anyways. But this Hermit energy is your focus, where you're not really interested in making relationships currently, because in the past you were dealt, and I know this in the past recently based off your other cards here, of where you just were burned and you're just like, something turned you off from people. Something turned you off from people. And for a small part of you, this could be just about your own personal ideas and dreams and all that. Regardless what it is, something has turned you off, Capricorn, from like, you no longer have the rose-colored glasses anymore. It's like you see things for what they are, and you might be even a little bit, dare I say, cynical, because of like what you've been through recently that made you lose faith in humanity, darling, right? But what I can be telling you, the possibilities, is this Three of Pentacles. So I feel like definitely for you, Capricorn, this is like an energy that comes in of like, what is possible for you is new connections, new people that you're not used to, right? The Three of Pentacles really amplifies that message of different walks of life coming together that you wouldn't normally expect, but they come together, have the same mission as you and the same desires that you want out of life as you, from people that you just normally wouldn't expect. This is like the epitome of like, don't judge a book by its cover right now, Capricorn, because the cover is very misleading towards what could actually potentially happen with them. All right. And so I feel like this person, when they come in, should you be open to this anyways, Capricorn, has very strong potential in adding a lot of value into your life. All right. Because I feel like on some level, the reason why you're in this hermit energy, I mean, aside from what we just talked about, Capricorn, but the reason why, another reason as to why you're in this hermit energy is that you're not really interested in like, you don't have space for just another friend that you don't, things don't really get anywhere. Like you're wanting connections. You don't have space, time, or energy to entertain things that just don't have substance in your life. Right, Capricorn, that don't provide deep substance. Like if you're going to allow someone in your life at this point in time, they have to really be someone worthwhile, not just purely for the sense of companionship. They need to be able to, you know, inspire you. They need to be able to have their own way of thinking that you respect. You may not agree with them, but you respect their educated perspective. Stuff like that is what I feel like you're craving, Capricorn, and that's what I feel like is coming. So pay attention, but again, don't judge a book by its cover. And so the reason as to why I know that this new energy coming in the next 2 weeks, or if they're not already present in your life recently, Capricorn, that you can this person is different and changes things, because sometimes you have to read in between the lines with tarot, like why certain cards come in. And so in the near future, what's going to be happening for you, Capricorn, is the Hanged Man experience. All right, the Hanged Man has a change in perspective. The Hanged Man leading up to the point of action is scared. Right, the Hanged Man really represents taking that leap of faith, even though it does not look promising at all that it's going to pay off. Even though like every fiber in your being, you're just like, no, I shouldn't do this. But there's something telling you spiritually, you know, to do something, right? And so the Hanged Man, it's like that complete 180, change in perspective to see things now. And so the reason why I say spiritually is that you can see this behind the Hanged Man in a couple different ways. I see this as the sun, usually, which is just a card of things, and you know, the sun represents clarity, things just making sense in your life through getting the fuller picture that you don't normally see. You wouldn't normally know that this would turn out positive, because again, the sun being the most positive card, you don't see that sun until you have that change in perspective, until you commit. Right. But you also, some people also see this in the illustrations of the Hanged Man as somebody who is like enlightened, right? And so I feel as if what's coming forward towards you, for I feel like the majority of you, it's socially, if it's not socially for you, like a new type of connection, I kind of feel like this is more so just like a business thing for you, where it's just like taking like a chance on like a business thing. But I don't feel like it's like a solo thing. I still feel like there's other it's like a collective effort, if that makes sense. All right. And so let's get into your power position. I'm not going to say that. It's like hearing something, but I'm just like, you know what? I don't think they're ready to hear that. So Capricorn, in your power position, we have the 10 of Cups. All right. And so what this would really represent for you, Capricorn, is this message of, in your power position, like you will never be led too far astray. Even though you might have dealt with snakes in your personal life at some point in time, Capricorn, or people have disappointed you, so on and so forth, at the end of the day, like your circle remains fairly clean, right? Your circle remains fairly clean. And what you're meant to experience in this lifetime is having all 10 cups being fulfilled. Like no matter what, Capricorn, you will make sure each and every facet of your life is being fulfilled here. And what I keep on hearing, Capricorn, excuse me, what I keep on hearing for you is that you don't want to accept anything that doesn't check all the boxes in relationships and work anymore. I feel like that's like your story of like maturing, is that as you've gotten older, as you've matured, you get more and more in tune with the 10 of Cups, of where it's like For you, like, it's always been this sense of like, if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't fill up your cup, you don't have it in your life. All right. And I feel like for you, Capricorn, you need to trust what your spiritual team is trying to give to you, because in your environment right now, you have the justice card letting you know where it's like things that are around you, you know, to have the justice on your side of things, Capricorn. It's like this wouldn't come through unless this was meant to be, right? The scales are balanced out currently in your environment, and so it's like telling you this message, or where it's like, well, yes, like you've always been able to intuitively make sure your cups are filled at that time in your life. I feel like for you, Capricorn, when it comes to this new connection, because you're just feeling so strong in this hermit energy, not really wanting to entertain things, you may not fully understand how this new connection coming in here would fill up your cups, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. That's like the main thing. It's like you'll judge a book by its cover, where you're just like, this person's not going to provide any substance. Let me not waste my time. But then, you know, you go into it deeper by not judging the book. All right. Let's just move on. Your focus, hopes, and fears right now, Capricorn, is avoiding getting hurt. So this explains a lot of your cautionary things, and why you are in this hermit place now is because you were hurt in the past and you don't want to be hurt in the future. And the best way to avoid being hurt is by not experiencing life. Right? You might be like, oh yeah, the best way to not get hurt, Velka, is by not, you know, opening yourself up to love and talking to people. But essentially what it is by you avoid pain and disappointment by just not living life, by not having experiences. And so I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you, Capricorn. All right. There's no, you know, this isn't The Sims. Things are going to happen in your life. You've been hurt in the past, and I promise you, you'll get hurt again. All right. So I'm not the tarot reader that's going to promise rainbows and sunshine to you. But what I can tell you is that your fear of being hurt, you know, your fear of dealing with the same thing that you just were dealing with in the past is what's going to hold you back, you know, and you know already intuitively deep down your harsh judgment in people, your harsh judgment in character, your harsh judgment that you just set for people to have. You have high standards, which is not a bad thing. But I feel like you're going to have like your own personal ego check. And now when I say ego, Capricorn, so many people always like, it's always like the people who don't really think, who just take things at surface level. They hear ego and just like, oh, I don't have an ego, Velka, like da 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 da. They immediately hear ego and their brain shuts down. But what I mean by ego is, because we all have one, like, or we all have ego. To be human is to have an ego. All right. So let's think a little bit deeper than just be like, oh, I'm the best tarot reader or whatever. Right. We're thinking so much when we say ego, we think so much deeper here. But I feel like you're going to have an ego check here, where it's like you've had a certain type of confidence about, again, because this is in your power, 10 of Cups, like you have such confidence in being able to have a read on people, on situations, and understand like what's actually going to fill your cup and not. You always are prioritizing that, but I feel like you're gonna have an ego check and like realizing this next thing for you is gonna be like a good wake up call, where it's just like, oh, you know, I didn't think this would be actually be possible. It's like your mind is expanded. You're a lot more open minded due to the fact of something proving you wrong. Does that make sense? And so that's ultimately what's going to be happening for you. The Judgment card in the outcome position is that whatever the situation is, but I feel strongly it's like a social relationship in your life, Capricorn. At the end of the day, this is going to be a relationship that does big things. This is going to be a relationship that has the same ideals that you have and will somehow play a part in working towards a higher goal. They have the same morals. They have the same mission as you do. And I feel like that's going to catch you by surprise. It'll be a pleasant surprise. Maybe you're just so used to always being the one that just like you always end up watering yourself down or biting your tongue because you're just so used to people being ultra sensitive. And I feel like you've almost convinced yourself, due to your current experiences, you're just like, oh, I guess I'm just very different than, it's not possible to have other people that think the same way that I do. And I feel like that's where you get the ego check or the reality check, Capricorn, of where she's like, oh, wait, this person's actually different and I didn't expect this. And they actually see things the same way that I do, that type of way. So let's get into your oracle reading today, Capricorn. First card here is the super moon. Emotions are running high right now for you, Capricorn. Essentially just telling you that you're thinking from a place of emotions rather than coming from a place of logic in some facet of your life. For many of you, it's going to be about relationships, but just kind of ask yourself, like, where is it that you're allowing your emotions to cloud your judgment to justify doing certain things, right? So your animal oracle card, one of them, is the camel card. Trust that you have the resources to get you through the challenges before you, that you're able to handle what is coming in your life right now. Again, especially to have that hermit card, you might be just hermited away because you feel like you're not ready, but you are completely ready. It's almost like this message here, Capricorn, of where you tell yourself that you're not ready for like a new business partner to have, like, that will help create like a dream thing for you until you do X, Y, and Z. But it's like, no, now's the time. Or it's like you tell yourself that you're not ready to have a new relationship in your life until you lose 10 more pounds or you gain 8 more pounds of muscle or whatever, right? It's like, no, it's now. That's what it is. It's like you're ready now. Like, you're overcooked. Your other animal oracle card, which is influenced by numerology as well. So write down the number 4 in numerology. Look that number up later to see how this plays off in your life, what messages that has. But this mouse spirit says tending to the small things, tending to the small things. So just be very careful right now, Capricorn, that you don't overlook. All right, that's ultimately what these oracle cards represent, or especially the mouse rather, is that you don't overlook something. You don't judge a book by its cover. You don't see something that seemingly is so minuscule, so unimportant, but it actually plays such an important role in your life should you be open to it. All right, Capricorn, some deep messages here. We got pretty deep in here, and I know this is not going to be for everybody, but I have a good feeling about this tarot reading, and I feel like it is reaching the people that it's meant to reach. So that's the weekly tarot reading that I have for you today, Capricorn. Hopefully something in here resonated, and I'll connect to you sometime in the near future. Bye, darling Capricorn.